Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David J. in for Dustin Kleeman. Snow today and into Sunday causing some of the normal winter challenges. Brett McCrummon is now going to join us here with some of the details on that. A little wet snow right now, but you can say there's more ahead as well.
That's right. More snow showers to continue tonight throughout tomorrow. It'll spread from west to east tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at our satellite radar mix right now. We've got low pressure over the into the Pacific Northwest, and that's helping to eject more of that moisture into portions of Idaho right now, and moving north it's affecting the Beartooths and the Absarokas right now, and also Billings also receiving snow showers, and some of that continues to push off towards the east right now. As we go ahead and take a look at our snowfall forecast, so we've got 4 different models that we look at, and we could see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of new snow before it is all said and done. We'll have your complete forecast and show you where the snow is going to be in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Weather causing some challenges in Great Falls as well, with crews having to try to rescue a man on the Missouri River.
That's nuts. That's crazy. I don't know what he's doing, but he shouldn't be out there.
The call came in at 8:30 this morning for a man in the middle of the river, and by 4 o'clock he had made it to a dam 3 miles from where he started. When an officer approached him, he climbed back onto the ice and went back downriver, and some had tried to help that man.
He won't engage with us. And it's his right to be out on the ice, I suppose, but at the same time the problem is we got private citizens that are trying to go out on the ice to talk to him. And so it's a public safety hazard in the sense that we have people going out there and putting themselves at risk.
And as of a little bit before 5 o'clock, he was still on the ice and close to being back where he had started. Montana Highway Patrol welcomed 4 new officers to its ranks during a ceremony Friday morning. The 4 new troopers received graduation certificates and their badges after weeks of training in the MHP Advanced Academy. Attorney General Tim Fox and MHP Colonel Tim Butler were among the leaders who honored the graduates at the ceremony. Trooper Calvin Jimerson from Billings was selected by his fellow cadets to speak on behalf of the class. As a trooper, he says he wants to help address drunk driving and drug trafficking in Montana, and he says he's also honored to carry on the MHP legacy.
I'm just overwhelmed by the support that we've had here for graduation, and just up to this point, the last 6 months of training, there's so many people that are behind law enforcement, and it means a lot.
And besides Trooper Jimerson, Tony Snelling is also from Billings, Brandon Tim is from Big Timber, and Perry Woodland from Cascade. All 4 of the new troopers will serve initially in eastern Montana. Suburban development and recreational demands are affecting Montana's #1 natural resource, water. But the problem isn't going unnoticed. And next week, some 300 people are in Helena for a water summit. MTN's Mike Dennison has the story.
You know, of course it's a concern because that's our livelihood. Without that water, I wouldn't be passing this ranch on to this 5th generation. And they're banking on that water, providing for them also.
The state representative Walt Sales farms and ranches south of Manhattan in the Gallatin Valley, about 15 miles northwest of booming Bozeman. Sales and other farmers have long-standing water rights, giving them priority on river flow, but they've agreed to keep water in the rivers for other users during the driest months of summer. It's these type of local agreements that officials hope to foster statewide, in the face of what's expected to be growing pressure on Montana's water supplies.
We know the problem's there. We're not just going to turn and run or try to run it over by one special entity, but come together and work towards fixing it, because we're all in this valley together. It's been a bit of a challenge, but I think we've learned a lot and can hopefully share that in other growth areas in the state.
Sales and many others will preach that gospel next week at Montana's first State Water Summit. The summit is sold out with 300 participants. Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney, who chairs the Governor's Drought Advisory Committee, says the summit will showcase and encourage local efforts to anticipate and deal with water shortages.
If you haven't done it, if you haven't started having these discussions, you need to start doing it because you don't want to wait for a crisis to occur.
Cooney says top-down solutions aren't the answer and points to how Gallatin County water users are working together to solve water shortages in the state's fastest-growing county. He says the summit also will feature information on the changing climate, which makes water shortages increasingly likely into the future.
Even if we have a great snowpack, even if it looks like it's going to melt off when we want it to, we still need to have these conversations because we will have drought. It's not a matter of if we will, it's when the drought will come and how do we make sure that our communities are best prepared to deal with it.
Cooney, Sales, and others also say they're certain about something else. This issue isn't going away anytime soon. As development continues here in Gallatin County, water is a precious commodity, here and all across the state. But next week's Water Summit looks to find common ground for all water users and still keep the Big Sky State as beautiful and prosperous as ever. Mike Dennison, MTN News, on the Gallatin River.
And the two-day summit opens next Tuesday morning at Radisson Colonial Hotel in Helena. Back in Billings, anyone who has driven on Montana highways has seen the majesty of our state's mountains from the road, but how much do you really know about them? The Glove Box Guide to Recognizing Montana's Mountains is the first ever pictorial field guide educating the state's mountain ranges. Artist Gary Little realized there was a lack of comprehensive information and resources on the subject, so he created a guide that shows ranges divided by the major river systems.
So I started driving to look at all the mountain ranges just to see. When I went to the state library to ask for a resource and they didn't have one, I said, maybe I'll make one. And the person there said, good luck with that. You know, no one's ever tried that. That's a lot. You know, that's 56 mountain ranges. It was a lot. I wore out 2 cars, and it took me 6 years.
And Little's artwork can be seen in galleries, museums, and hospitals all around the state. And some in Red Lodge have a tradition out there, and that's helped bring about a much bigger event, the 2-week Winterfest. All that fun started this weekend. Red Lodge Mountain hosted its Winter Carnival. The best engineered vehicles competed in the annual Cardboard Classic with the theme of superheroes. And Winterfest started Friday and finishes with the national final ski join races at the Red Lodge Fairgrounds on Sunday, March 11th. Up next on Q2, she was in the Great Falls High class of 1934. Just one of her memories as she celebrates her 102nd birthday. Later in sports, the stage is set as Central and Hardin prepare for the rubber match in tonight's state championship A game. We check in with both teams coming up.